So today we're going to take a look at Fnatic because they are just cruising this league right now. They are just dominating their games, and now that Alfia is back, I mean, it's very possible that they do, not lose a game this entire run here because they are just playing very, very well. And we're going to take a look at Icebox here, but to start off, actually, they did struggle. And I think it had to do with somewhat of their setups. This is their first round, kind of, the start of the round. This is what it looked like for Fnatic. They're on the defensive side, and they were playing very passive towards A, right? Here's round one. We can see we've just got the Sage there. Here is the start of round number 2. They did win the pistol, so they do have the better guns in this round, but it's still just the Sova and the Viper who weren't going to play, too aggressively here on this site either. Crucially, Derke, I mean, you can already see, right? Look at where Derke's already going towards this B site. He's ready to aggress, whereas these guys are more passive towards A. The start of the third round was much the same, where again, we've just got Boaster here on Viper. I mean, Leo's off doing a lineup again for Derke here on B. And so again, we're playing very passive towards this A site. And then finally, the fourth round, which is actually the round that we'll first take a look at. Again, very similar setup. Derke over here towards B. Again, a more passive A hold here. And actually, Heretics found some success by, in these rounds going to A. They managed to get the spike down in most of these rounds. And, it did have to be retakes, and some of them were successful, and some were not. But this is a good round on the whole by Heretics. They actually do start off towards B in this round, putting a bit of pressure there with the Harbor Cascade. They send the drone in as well. And this is something that I think was kind of crucial to this game that, maybe Heretics didn't do enough of is he pushed Derke back off the start, right, with the drone. The drone sees Derke here, and he has to retreat, right? You push him off these aggressive angles, and this just didn't happen enough to where they either didn't find Derke enough, or they didn't drone to push him off that angle. But you see, they see Derke, and instantly it's like, yeah, let's just go the other way. And again, maybe by this point, Heretics kind of noticed that this A site hold, wasn't super strong. And seeing Derke on B kind of, reinforces that idea. And so they send in the Reckoning here. They send in this Sovadar. And yeah, Boaster and Leo here aren't really in positions to actually defend the site, particularly with the Reckoning coming in. So they have to go and give up the site. Keloqz then decides to go for, as we're getting the spike down here, and, we're about to get this 5v5 retake. Keloqz decides to go for this aggressive play. I feel like he was chasing it a bit throughout this entire game. He didn't have a great game overall, and I do feel like he was, trying to be like, oh, I'll be able to best Derke, and I'm going to carry this team. So, he did do this sometimes, and Boaster does really well, to be fair, because it's not a terrible idea by Keloqz, to come on here. It might be unexpected, right? But Boaster's aware of it, and he manages to get that kill just there. The spike will go down, but I like what Team Heretics do here, okay? So the spike's going down now, and just take a look at this Viper, right? So the Viper and Killjoy you see start to go back, but someone on Team Heretics, I assume, or it's just intuition by these players, these two players decide, actually, wait, this is a terrible idea. We're in a 4v5 against Fnatic retake. That's probably not going to go great. So they decide to come up and fight this as a team instead, right? Really, really good, which is what you need to do in this 4v5. It's no good sitting back here, right? So as Fnatic, begin to start this retake and the harbor wall starts to go down, you see now that all of Heretics are kind of here, right? We're going to fight this. We aren't just going to play off site and play lineups and stuff. Like, that's probably not going to work in a 4v5 against Fnatic, but, playing aggressive here as the drone comes in and they start this retake, you'll see that as Fnatic start to come in, we've got these kind of, good angles with each other, we're kind of all there. Boo manages to get that kill, and now, as Boaster's looking towards Boo, now Zeke's able to get a kill as well, and now we end up in a 3v2. But now that they end up in a 3v2, now they start to come back, right? Now that they've got the kills that they want, now we can play lineups, now we can play safe, because we're in a 3v2 now, right? So we can just sit back here. You're the ones that have got to do something now, because, we're essentially in the advantageous position. And you see, by just sitting off and playing back and not kind of giving Fnatic anything, Team Heretics are able to win this round. So this was a good round by Team Heretics. I particularly like the way that they, played the 4v5, had the awareness. Oh, now we're in a 3v2. Let's play more passive and play the time, and they win the round. And yeah, it was a good round by them, but Fnatic clearly had to adjust because Heretics were kind of exploiting the fact that Fnatic were letting them in on A very easily. And adjust they did, because here is the start of the very next round, and you can see, yeah, Derke's over towards A, playing with Chronicle, being aggressive, already starting to kind of, push up in towards these spaces, and we're playing more passive over towards B. And Fnatic normally do play more passive in towards B, but I think one reason why they didn't in this game is because Mixwell is playing Harbor, and they aren't playing a Sage, right? So what does that mean? Well, normally what you'll see if you get a Sage, right, is you'll get the wall up here on B, and, you know, a very, like, safe plant behind the wall, and Fnatic will commonly, you know, use Viper Mollies and Killjoy Nanos, you know, to stop this plant as much as they can, basically, and really make it, you know, your life difficult, you know, when you try and plant behind the Sage wall. The thing is, they aren't playing Sage, and they're playing Harbor instead, and a wall that Team Heretics like to use is a Harbor wall that kind of goes like this, that allows you to push deeper into the site and maybe get different plant locations, right? Maybe you want to plant here instead. You know, it's a bit more unpredictable in terms of, you know, where should you put those Killjoy Nanos? Where should you put those Viper Mollies, right? It's not as easy as maybe it is against just a Sage. But what we'll see in this round is, here we go, right? Derke is getting aggressive. Actually, again, Team Heretics are going to come towards B in this round. Boo just picks up the spike there, and, you know, they see the dart. Maybe they feel that aggression is coming, so they are going to go for a B hit instead. But Derke, either recognizing that, I'm not sure, or whatever, just feeling, you know, very, very confident. As this dart and dash start to come up here, you're going to see that Derke starts to move. And he is going to go on quite a fast flank here, as we just get a little bit of delay on this site. As Fnatic have now rotated Leo over as well, right? They're just going to pause for a second here, our Team Heretics, and that allows Derke, you can see, he's already on his way. You know, and in fact, he's on his way so much that you can see this alarm bot goes down. He actually spots it, and he's going to start pinging it out. You see him already looking at the ground. He actually starts, you know, pinging the general location of this alarm bot for himself later on when he starts to come across to it. Whilst that's going on, though, we are going to get Heretics coming in onto the site. They go for this harbor wall down there, and Boaster knows, you know, that he could be in some trouble back here because, you know, this harbor wall does allow Team Heretics to potentially, you know, push onto him and, you know, potentially get this kill. Now, I'm not sure if they slightly missed this harbor wall. I'm not quite sure, because you'll see that this harbor wall just misses the bridge. I'm not sure if they were expecting it to be on that bridge, but Leo can see over the wall, right? So they're going to try and push Boaster in a second, but Leo is above the wall. Again, not quite sure if that's, you know, an unintended thing or not. So they start to come in towards the site, but you can see Leo's already here, and Kellogg's, you know, trying to put a smoke there, is unfortunately killed. Now, whilst that's going on, Derke was pinging out this alarm bot for himself so that he could put a jet smoke there and just run past it without them knowing. We're going to get a Sovereign in here from Team Heretics, and Derke's going to get a free one on this Sova as the Sovereign's coming in, because he's just on the flank and they don't know. We get trades back and forth. Boaster manages to get Mixwell there, which is kind of a crucial kill. And then you see we've got here Derke just getting a free one, and then he's even going to kill Boo in a second just as well. And from here it's a 3v1, and they are going to manage to win this round. It's really just, again, Derke kind of took over this game. I mean, they just seem to have a very good idea, right? Like, Boaster, you know, even puts a snake bite down here, you know, because he knows that they're probably going to push him. Like, they just seem to have a very good understanding of what their opponents are going to do and what they're going to do to counter it. But now let's come to round number 7, because this is our Legolas round, where some of the things might be truly unbelievable. I'm not quite sure. It's a shame we didn't get Leo POV of this round, because I'd love to see it. But again, we start off with this aggression from Derke here, and this time he actually gets punished. This is one of the first time he got punished. There were 16 rounds in this game, and Derke got the first kill 9 rounds. So more than half the rounds, Derke got the first kill, which is kind of crazy to think about as well. And Team Heretics, they actually started off towards B. They put up this hard wall here, but then they decide, okay, well, we've got the first kill on A. You know, let's come back towards A now that Derke's dead. And they even are holding it, right? Because I think, you know, they have a Sage res. They don't want to, like, fully leave and go towards B, because Chronicle could maybe come and actually res Derke here, and you end up back in a 5v5. So, probably the right decision here by Team Heretics overall. I kind of like the decision that they made here. Unfortunately for them, there is a second layer to this aggression, as we know, which is Chronicle down here in towards jail. And unfortunately for them, Boo kind of does like a little half clear, doesn't really fully clear it. And obviously Chronicle can hear all of these footsteps, so Leo goes for this Sovereign. Now, on this Sovereign here, he's going to manage to hit Kellogg's with the first bolt. Now, obviously, when you hit someone with a Sovereign, it gives you like a little ping of like seeing them, right? Kellogg's is then going to dash. I don't know if that little ping showed him where he dashed to, but Leo then flicks over his ult and manages to kill him. Either he got a bit lucky that, you know, he saw where Chronicle dashes to after he hits him the first time, or Leo somehow is just an absolute genius madman and just hits him again and manages to get that kill, whilst Chronicle's getting these kills as well. I don't know. it could honestly be either. And so we end up in a 3v2 after, Chronicle punishes them for not checking him and whatnot. Leo sends in that dart, he sends in the drone, and they figure out basically that, both these players are here. I think this drone maybe just catches a brief glimpse of a Vova just there, and so Boaster goes for the Viper's Pit. I'm not a great fan of this Viper's Pit. I don't think this is maybe the best Viper's Pit in the world for a couple of reasons. There's still 40 seconds left on the clock, so they do still have enough time to go to B if they wanted to. And that means that Althea, it's kind of, it's not like there's 20 seconds left and Althea knows, well, they have to come to A. So Althea has to stay here, right? And so he's not able to really help them just now. And so what that means is as Boaster comes back into the pit, it puts a lot of pressure on Leo. Now, Leo is an insane player of this game, so, that is a benefit. But of course, if ever Team Heretics did come up here and kill Leo, then Boaster's in a lot of trouble as well, because he's now on his own, and they could come into this pit from any direction. He's in a lot of trouble. Luckily for Boaster, it is Leo, and here we go. We get Legolas coming in with these shock darts, and as someone mentioned in a Reddit thread of the post-match of this game, it doesn't even feel like he's doing, specific set lineups or whatnot. It all just seems like it's off the cuff, off the dome, and yeah, he manages to catch Boo there with the shock darts. Kind of incredible. And so we're in a 3v1. And then here you go. Leo is always good for it. And he manages to get that kill as well. And so yeah, just a Legolas round. A Leogolas round, I guess. And yeah, Fnatic would win that round as well. And now let's finish with the attacking pistol round, which is truly a bizarre round from Fnatic and a super creative round as well. What we're going to get early on here from Team Heretics, as you see, we've actually got a B stack from them. And they're going to send out a Harbor Cascade just out here, and then they're going to come and put their alarm bot in behind it. And you'll see it on the map in just a second. There goes the alarm bot. And the beauty of this alarm bot is that, it will actually, I'm pretty sure, catch anyone coming this way as well. So it kind of is like a catch-all for anyone coming mid. But it looked like Fnatic wanted to come towards mid anyway. And so what's going to happen now is that Fnatic hear this alarm bot, they hear it go down, they start pinging, where it went down, and now they come up with a really creative idea. I mean, just really like a genius idea where Derke is going to smoke off the alarm bot so that they can walk through without having to destroy it, and they'll go for this kind of weird mid-round. I mean, look at this. This is just crazy, crazy big brain stuff. I mean, just look at that. I mean, that is just unreal that they, obviously like just came up with that on the spot, because there's no way they could expect that would happen. Now, actually, I think Heretics heard that, because they start, you see these pings here. It sounds like they heard that and that they know something's happening mid, which just makes this even weirder that Mixwell is kind of sleeping here. I mean, yeah, it's like he's just not even looking at his screen. I don't really know what was going on there. But now they decide to push spawn, which, yeah, is a very odd choice, and, they're kind of caught off guard by that as well. Mixwell, I don't think, is expecting them to come around. They put up the Sage Wall here in mid, do Fnatic. They then put this Viper Wall across as well, which does actually separate these three players. Very, very bizarre. And Derke comes around this corner and, yeah, finds Mixwell a free one there. He does get traded, but they aren't expecting another one to be there as well, so Althea gets that one. But Althea is about to get caught off by Boo, just coming, back up this way, as now he's in kind of a weird situation. So we end up in a 3v3. The spike is going down. We're in a 3v3. It's a bizarre round. There's people, this is just such a weird situation that you never really find yourself in on this map. And there's weird angles to check and all of that kind of stuff. Boo is about to go kind of huge here, to be honest. He expects this kind of crossfire. You'll see it in just a second. You see him looking both ways. He kind of knows, and he's able to turn and actually kill Boaster there beforehand, which is really, really good play by him, and he gets the information as well. Leo, he is on low health Boo there, so he does get traded just there. We end up in a 2v2, and now talk about playing for your teammates in a 2v2 and Leo, because Chronicle's just gonna basically delay, just don't die, so that Leo can come around this corner and get 2 free kills as they're trying to chase Chronicle. Really, really good stuff again from Fnatic. You see Leo getting into position there, and you see Chronicle just like, tucking in basically as much as he can here, trying not to die, just giving Leo enough time to get up on here and get 2 free ones. Again, really, really good stuff by Fnatic, and they just kind of cruise this game, as they just look like a very, very good team, and it's all kind of working right now.